See this question 25, syllogism. Okay. This is somewhat different sum. I've come across a sum. Okay, there's the only sum I've come across. Now look at this statements. All scientists are hardworking. No scientists are superstitious. Down, conclusion 1. No scientists are superstitious. Now this first conclusion is same as the second statement. Second statement is what? No scientists are superstitious. Conclusion 1 also says no scientists are superstitious. A second conclusion says all superstitious are not scientists. If you look at it properly, the first statement is of no use. The first statement is talking about scientists and hardworking. In conclusion, scientists, what is there? But nowhere you have hardworking. That means totally depends on second statement. No scientists are superstitious. So no scientists are superstitious. If you draw a diagram, Venn diagram for that, no scientists are superstitious, you'll have two separate diagrams. One is scientist and one is superstitious, not connecting to each other, separate Venn diagrams. Now look at the second conclusion. All superstitious are not scientists. They are also saying not. So again, so both are true, but then it can be solved in two ways. See both the methods. The sum can be solved in, here I said, now this is I've added exception to plus minus rule. What is that exception? I'll come. First step is convert, not applicable. Plus or minus applicable? Yes, there is no. So plus or minus is applicable. Let me say there plus minus. Now we have to look at the rule, plus minus rule. Now what it says here, first conclusion says no scientists are superstitious. No scientists are superstitious. So we have to check now. No scientists are superstitious. Scientists, normally you will take scientists from here, you will take superstitious from here. Normally they are appearing in the same. But now if you take both from here, okay, in the second also superstitious and scientist is there. So only second line you'll have to use. You will not have to use first line at all. So that first line will be meaningless. To keep that first line, we'll have to take scientist not from the second line, but we'll have to take scientist from the first line. Don't take scientist from here for that plus minus rule. Because if you take scientist, everything happens with the second statement only. So here, scientist in the first statement also. So you take scientist from here, which is positive. Superstitious from here, negative. Positive, negative, negative. Then superstitious and scientist. So again the same. Positive, negative, negative. So none. Invalid, conclusion, none. Now diagram 1. All scientists are hardworking. Scientists, all scientists, hardworking. No scientist is superstitious. Superstitious. SU for superstitious. SE for scientist. Now check. No scientists are superstitious. True. Then second diagram. The statements are saying superstitious and scientists are no. No scientists are superstitious. So superstitious should not cross scientist, but it can cross hardworking. So here also true, because scientists and superstitious are separate. Third diagram also true. So all three true, true. Then second, all superstitious are not scientists. True. Second also true. Third also true, true. Special case, no. So answer is E. This is your one method. Now I'm coming to alternative method, which is easy. This is the answer which I have discussed earlier. You may skip checking of conclusion 1 because it is exactly same as statement 2. Conclusion 2 and statement 2 is exactly same. So don't check it. Directly you can say true. This is one. One more point is that. See this. Same question. Alternative method. This is easy. Conclusion 1 is exactly same as statement 2. So conclusion 1 is true. Agreed? Conclusion 2 is true. Sorry, conclusion 1 is true because second statement and conclusion is same. Now, next further, what I'm saying, conclusion 2 and conclusion 1 means one and the same, means the same. So conclusion 2 is also true. What conclusion 1 is saying, no scientists are superstitious. Scientists and superstitious are two separate things. The second diagram also, second conclusion also saying the same. All superstitious are not scientists. Superstitious and scientists are separate. So if first is true, automatically second conclusion is true. Nothing is required. We got the answer. Answer is A. That can be another method. But I don't think such question will be asked to you. There was one question in your study material, so I took it. Okay. So that's all. Keep practicing. And as I said, very shortly, you'll be given timetable for your online test. Okay. How it will be conducted? Just say, and we'll be able to see your marks, what you answered, and things like that. We'll not be able to see your working though, but then we'll be able to see what you have answered and things like that. Okay. So that's all for logical reasoning of CA Foundation. CA student, you will wait. CA Foundation student can log out. Yes, for CA Foundation, I'll meet you with some topics in maths. Bye till then. For CA Foundation. CS, you will wait. If CA students also want to wait, I don't mind, but you can leave. Don't waste your time. Rather than go and solve those questions again, which we have solved today. That will be better for you. Clock calculation, you don't have. Absolutely no calculation for you. Now, for CS students, I'm starting with clock. Clock and calendar. Yes, here, clear cut, this slide says this is meant for CS, not for CA. Okay, clock calculation. Let's start. Clock and calendar calculation. Dear student, interesting topic. Okay, in calendar, when we'll go to calendar calculation, you will see you'll be given a date today itself, and you will be able to say whether it is Sunday, Monday, any date. Any date will be given to you, and you should tell whether it is Sunday, Monday. There's some calculation. I'll show you how to do that calculations. Okay. So clock and calendar is your new topic. For CS student, we finished with what is known as series, and that is also called as sequence. Then coding, decoding, odd man out we did. Then we did blood relation. Just now we finished with blood relation. We finished with syllogism. Now clock and calendar. Okay, maybe in the remaining time we'll be able to finish up with clock and calendars. First, clock. This is a clock without any hand. First, I want you to know the opposite numbers. For 12, opposite is 6, or for 6, opposite is 12. For 1, opposite is 7, or for 7, opposite is 1. 7 and 1, 2 and 8, 3 and 9, 4 and 10, 5 and 11. Opposite will require this. Easy? So only CS students are left. So keep on telling me, is it easy? Is this part clear? Others, please reply. Okay, fine. Keep replying. Clock concept. A dial of a clock is circular in shape and divided into 60 equal minute spaces. Total 60 minutes are there in that clock. Okay, that is what first point says. 60 minute space traces to angle of 360 degree. I hope you know angles. Right angle triangle. So right angle is a perpendicular is 90 degree, straight is your 180 degree, and total is 360. Therefore, 1 minute space traverses or travel an angle of 6 degree. How do I got this 6 degree? 360 for 1 hour. 1 hour is 60 minutes. So 360 divided by 60, and that comes to 6 degree. So per minute is a 6 degree angle. For total, here let me draw and show it to you. Total is 360. Okay, and there are 60 minutes. (360) divided by 60. 360 divided by 60. 0, 0 get cancelled. 6, 6 are 36. So that comes 6 degree. So 1 minute is equal to 6 degree angle. 1 minute is equal to 6 degree angle. Further, 1 hour, minute hand in 1 hour. In 1 hour, the minute hand traverses 60 minutes. Pura ghumta hai. Minute hand. Okay, that or 360 degree. Our hand traverses 5 minutes space or 30 degree in 1 hour. Let's say 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. What happens for that hour hand, short hand in a clock? If the second hand is there, then there will be 3. But remove that second, hours and minutes. Hour will be smaller, minute will be bigger. Bigger hand moves in 1 hour 360 degree, whereas hour hand moves 5 spaces, or you can say 30 degree. 5 into 6, that is 30 degree. 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. The hand of the clock are perpendicular in 50 minute spaces apart. That is at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, it is 90 degree perpendicular. 9 o'clock, it is perpendicular. 3 o'clock, sharp 3 o'clock, perpendicular. Sharp 9 o'clock, perpendicular. Now, let me know, or I'm asking you, what about 3:30 sharp? Will it be perpendicular? Yes or no? 3:30 sharp. The answer is no. At 3:30, exact sharp 3:30, it will not be perpendicular. It will not be perpendicular. Why? I'm saying no. It will not be perpendicular. Sharp 3:30. Why? Think of R hand. At 3:30, where will be the R hand? At 3 or somewhere in between 3 and 4? 3:30. Well, where will be the R hand? Minute hand will be at 6. Yes, it is between 3 and 4. If it is at 3, then it will be perpendicular. But it's not at 3. It is in between 3 and 4. Okay, so remember that. Our hand moves. So little after 3:30, it will become perpendicular. Little after 3:30. We'll do that calculation later. 3:30 के थोड़ा बाद में perpendicular हो जाएगा. Sharp at 3:30 नहीं होगा, because it is between 3 and 4. So that our minute hand has to go between 6 and 7 to make it 90 degree. We'll do that calculation. So be careful. Sharp 3, it is sharp 3. It is perpendicular. Sharp 9, it is perpendicular. But at 3:30, it is not perpendicular. Yeah, it will become perpendicular just after 3:30, but not at sharp 3:30. Is that concept clear? Is the concept clear? Now think of 9:30. Think of 9:30. Will it be perpendicular? 9:30 sharp. Sharp 9:30. Will it be perpendicular? The answer is no. Sharp 9:30, I'm saying, means minute hand is on 6. But hour hand is in between 9 and 10. 9:30. So to be exact, exactly between 9 and 10. Exactly at the center of 9 and 10. Half hour is over. Yeah.
पढ़ाई के लिए मेहनत तो सब करते हैं, लेकिन स्मार्ट स्टडी कौन करता है? प्री एग्जाम ऐप के साथ बनाइए अपनी तैयारी सुपर स्मार्ट। प्री एग्जाम ऐप देता है वाइड रेंज के एग्जाम्स की तैयारी, जैसे जी, नीट, कैट, सीए फाउंडेशन, सीएस सीट, बैंकिंग, रेलवे, एसएससी, एमबीए एंट्रेंस, एसवाईजेसी, कॉम, टीवाईबी कॉम और भी बहुत कुछ। चैप्टर वाइज टेस्ट्स एंड मॉक टेस्ट्स, डिटेल्ड परफॉर्मेंस एनालिसिस, और अब तैयारी होगी एकदम परफेक्ट। कहीं भी कभी भी पढ़ाई करें और एक विशाल क्वेश्चन बैंक आपकी तैयारी को बनाए आसान। इंस्टेंट इवैल्यूएशन से तुरंत जानिए अपनी परफॉर्मेंस और पाएं पर्सनलाइज्ड फीडबैक। तो अब देरी किस बात की? प्री एग्जाम ऐप डाउनलोड करें और अपने नाम से रजिस्टर्ड करें और एक विशाल क्वेश्चन बैंक बिल्कुल फ्री और अपनी सफलता की कहानी लिखें। लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में है। प्री एग्जाम ऐप स्मार्ट तैयारी का साथी।
Now, the hand of the clock are in straight line and opposite to each other in 30-minute spaces. For perpendicular, 15 minutes, and opposite, that is 1 degree के लिए it should be 30 minutes. That is what happens at 6 o'clock, sharp 6, 180 degree. Exactly opposite, 6 o'clock. What about 12:30 sharp? Will it be 180 degree? That is 30-minute spaces. 12:30 sharp. No, again that problem. 12:30 means the hour hand, minute hand is on 6, but hour hand is not on 12. It is in between 12 and 1. So it's not 180. Somewhere after 12:30, maybe 31, 32, we'll do that calculation. That time it will become 180. Then the hands of the clock are in straight line when they coincide or opposite to each other. Now coincide means one above the other. Sharp 12, 12 o'clock. Where will be minute hand? Minute hand will be at 12. Even hour hand will be at 12. दोनों भी 12 पे होंगे. So that is called as coincide. At 6:30 they will not be coincide, but just after 6:30, okay, maybe 33 or somewhere around that, again they will coincide. Opposite to each other, 6 o'clock, the hands are opposite to each other. Okay. The hand of the clock are perpendicular to each other for 22 times in 12 hours and 44 times in a day. Mind you, perpendicular position happens or appears 22 times in 12 hours. If it is 22 times in 12 hours, automatically it is 44 times in a day. How? Normally in 1 hour, twice it becomes perpendicular. In 1 hour, twice it becomes perpendicular. When? Let's start with 12 o'clock. At sharp 12 o'clock, what happens? Both the hands are one above the other. Now the minute hand starts moving. It will come to 15, 12:15. Tell me, is it perpendicular, 90 degree? 12:15, sharp 12:15. 12:15, sharp 12:15, they will be perpendicular. The answer is no. How? 12 o'clock they were perpendicular. 12:15 they will not be perpendicular. Why? Sharp 12:15 they will not be perpendicular. Why? Q. $12:30 perpendicular. Perpendicular means 90 degree. Perpendicular means 90 degree. Say at 12:15, minute hand will come at 3. What about hour hand? Will it remain still on 12 only? At 12:15, the hour hand will move slight ahead. So it's not perpendicular. It is near 90 degree, but it will not be exactly 90 degree. It will somewhere 85, 86 degree, but not 90. Because hour hand moves. Remember this concept. Perpendicular means 90 degree. So at 12:15, it will not be 90 degree. So then when it will be 90 degree? Just after 12:15, maybe 1 minute after 12:15, 12:16 point something will come. That time it will be perpendicular. So just after 12:15 it will be perpendicular, not sharp at 12:15. So then next, when it will become around roughly I am talking about roughly it's 12, 16, somewhere around 12:16 they are perpendicular. Exact time we'll calculate later. Then next it will be perpendicular at 150. Sorry, 12:50. Think of 12:50. 12:50. I'll draw here and show that 12:50. Not exact at 12:50. Mind you again, not exactly at 12:50. Just after 12:50 or somewhere around there, it will be again perpendicular. Let me try and draw it here and show. This is your clock. Okay. At 12:15, this is 12, let us say. This is 12. And this is 15. At 12:15, this is my hour hand. Will it be exactly on 12? The answer is no. It won't be at 12 because it is. What is the timing we are saying? Timing is. Sorry. Circle. This is 12. This is 3. Okay. Now at 15, this will be sharp on 12. Sorry, 3. But this will not be sharp on 12. This is somewhere here. The angle is not 90 degree because our hand is moved. But after little time, when this minute hand moves somewhere here, it will make it 90 degree. Just after 12:50. Similarly, 12:30, 12:40, 12:45, 12:50. 12 roughly around 12:50. Again, you will have 12:50. Not sharp at 12:50. Again, I'm so short. So 12:50 or so, this is 12. This is 1, let us say 1. So your it will be here somewhere and somewhere here. This also angle is going to make 90 degree. So every hour twice, it becomes 90 degree. But this is not true for each and every hour. What we said is 22 times. Why 22 times? Why not 24 times? In between 2 and 3, 2 और 3 के बीच में, only once it becomes 90 degree, and 8 and 9 also once it becomes 90 degree. कब 3, 2 and 3 once. Between 12 and 1 twice it will become 90 degree. Between 1 and 2 twice it will become 90 degree. But between 2 and 3 only once it will become 90 degree. And so it's not 24 hours, but it is 22 hours. Twice it becomes only once. Between 2 and 3 and between 8 and 9. Anyway, a question is asked, you can always remember that how many times it happens. It happens 22 times in 12 hours and 44 times in a day. Next. Opposite to each other is 11 times. If that is 22, so opposite is, that is 90 degree. This is 180 degree. 180 degree is half of it. So that is 22. Half of that is 11 times in 12 hours and 22 times in a day. And then the hands of the clock coincides with each other for 11 times. So even opposite is 11 times in 12 hours. Even coincide. What do you mean by coincide? Coincide means one above the other. एक के ऊपर एक. ऐसे 12 hours में 11 times हो जाता है. Okay. And for 24 hours it will be 22. 90 degree, 22 in 12 hours and 44 in 24 hours. 180 degree. 11 times in 12 hours and 22 times in a day. And this coincide means 0 degree, one above the other is 11 times, and that is in 12 hours and 22 times per day. The hands of the clock are 24 times in a straight line in a day. ऊपर बोला ये 180 degree, that is 44 times in a day. Here we said opposite to each other. Opposite to each other means 180 degree. Here we said opposite to each other 11 times. Opposite to each other means 180 degree, and here straight line bola hai, that is also 180 degree. The minute hand gets 55 minutes over hour and per hour. एक घंटे में minutes hand कितना घूमेगा? In 1 hour 60 minutes, and hour hand will move only 5 minutes. So minute hand is faster by 55 minutes in 1 hour. समझा नहीं समझे पॉइंट? एक घंटे में मिनट्स हैंड कितना घूमेगा? 60 घूमेगा, 360 डिग्री घूमेगा, और आर हैंड कितना घूमेगा? 5 मिनट ही घूमेगा. सो दैट इज टोटल डिफरेंस इज 55. हेलो, no replies. Clear or no? We'll do calculation. Calculation will come. These are the theory points you remember. Once it comes to calculation, calculation will become easy because we have derived formulas. Hence, the last point, this is important, this you will remember. Hence, x minute space to gain by minute hand over hour hand can be calculated as x is the minutes, into 60 upon 55 minutes, or x into 12 upon 11 minutes. Now, from where you got this 60 upon 55? इसलिए वो ऊपर वाला point 55 gain हो जाता है in 1 hour. So 60 upon 55. But 60 upon 55 is nothing else but 12 upon 11. So this formula you remember. X is the minutes. Minutes multiplied by, both formulas are same answer you will get. But I'll remember this formula. Minutes into, we'll require this in the formula. Minutes, X is minutes. Minutes into 12 upon 11. From where you got 12 upon 11? 60 upon 55. 5 12s are 60, 5 11s are 55. So 12 upon 11 minutes. Okay, you'll require this. Now say, here, now calculation will come. Say this, at what time between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, the hand of the clock are opposite to each other. And there are options. 34, 6 upon 11 past 2 o'clock. Means 2 hours, 34.6 upon 11 minutes. Second, 43 and 7 upon 11 past 2 o'clock. Third, 56, 8 upon 11 past 2 o'clock. And the fourth, 64, 9 upon 11, bracket close should have been there, past 2 o'clock. Any guess? 180 degree बनना चाहिए. Opposite each other means 180 degree. At what time it will be 180 degree? A, B, C, D. क्या ऑप्शन लगता है?